Well, welcome back to the Carolina saltwater living, y'all. Carolina saltwater living. Where living is good, and we're living with less because less is more. We're making shrimp quesadillas tonight. Who doesn't like a good Mexican quesadilla? Well, this one isn't really Mexican, but it is a good version. Guys, thanks for stopping in. Let's get to cooking. Now, who doesn't like a good quesadilla? We love them. It was always a treat going out to, I had a buddy named Raphael that ran a Mexican restaurant in the town that we moved from. And I got to knowing Raphael because we used to clean out his grease trap, my brother and I, when we had our septic business. That was one of the functions that we had. And I just maintained that relationship all through the years. And he never forgot me. And when I was working for the public, I would go in there and eat with him and just hang out sometimes, see how he was doing. But he taught me a few tricks along the way, and I'm going to see if I can share a few of those with y'all this evening on a shrimp quesadilla. Now, to start off with, you need a pound of peeled and deveined shrimp. These are wild caught right here from where we are, North Carolina, southeast North Carolina. These came from a little place called Varnumtown. From a fella I go and see every single week and get fresh fish, seafood, shellfish, whatever we're wanting that week, I go and get it. Now that's something different than what my friend Raphael used to use. They were using farm raised, and he would tell me that because it was just so much cheaper. But better flavor, better texture, especially from the wild caught, in my opinion. Now let me show you a trick. I asked Raphael, I said, all these spices that y'all use, is it what people really think? There's a bunch of authentic people back in the kitchen and they are mixing different spices together from Mexico or wherever. He said, let me show you exactly what we use. And y'all, I use it today. Right there. Taco seasoning. Just like you can buy in the grocery store. They had jugs of this stuff back there. And they did it on purpose. That way that every single dish that went out that was a fajita or a quesadilla like we're making today, all of them tasted the same. And so what you will do is what he would tell me, we'd take the shrimp and give it a liberal dose of this right here. Now some of you are going to say, well, that was just not an authentic Mexican restaurant. Started to say Hispanic. But these were actually Mexicans working in there. It was authentic. It was cooked by Raphael and his amigos back there in the kitchen. Now, it may not have been authentic as in the terms of how they did it, wherever they came from, but it worked. Another thing, lime juice. That's not something most people keep on hand. He told me that they would take lime juice and put it over the seafood just before they cooked it. We're going to do it right now, but I don't have lime. Raphael would say, no problema, senor. Usa limon. Lemon. We're going to use lemon juice. It ain't no problem. Put a little lemon juice on there, and that's just an acidic marinade. Then you're going to take all that we just put in here and give it a toss. And we're going to stick it back in the fridge while we are getting some other components ready for this shrimp quesadilla that's just as authentic as really probably most every Mexican restaurant in America. Other than the high class ones maybe. Now for the vegetable portion of this quesadilla, all I'm using is one red bell pepper, straight out of the grocery store, and one Texas sweet onion, also out of the grocery store. The only peppers that we have right now are frozen. And I didn't feel like thawing any out. So here's what we got for today. So I'm going to show you a little way to cut your bell pepper so that you maximize yield and don't get all those pesky seeds. And many of you probably already know how to do this. But I just start up here on the side. And I go down the side just like that. Shaving off the pepper that's there. I'll just work my way all the way around, eliminating having to pull seeds out, cut the top off, and then have some funky shapes. And from there, All you got to do is strip it up because you want it in strips for this. You are left with the core. Ain't no good for nothing, so we'll throw that out. Don't put that in your compost. It's a nightshade. Peppers are nightshades, not good for compost. I'm not really sure why that is, but Lisa's always told me that, and she's the expert. Straight into a dish, glass bowl over here with the peppers. And we're going to use half of this Texas sweet onion. Because it's just the two of us. We don't need a whole onion. This thing's probably pushing 12 ounces. Now for those of you that want to know or are curious, that is chile and cebollo. That's the, let's see, Spanish version of the names in English. Cebollo for the onion and chile for the pepper. I know a few things, y'all, believe it or not. Don't look at the hair and the beard and just think, this guy don't know what he's talking about. Now here's another trick that Raphael taught me. He said, don't wait until you get ready to put your vegetable in the pan to use olive oil. And they used canola oil in the Mexican restaurant, at least in that one. But we're using olive oil, and this is some of that hot a la grasa, but I will say, y'all, it is really good. He said, go ahead and treat your vegetable with some olive oil. There's two reasons for that. Saves you a step for the line cook in the restaurant, but it also lets this taco seasoning that came straight out of the grocery store just down the road a chance to adhere to what you're doing. Because this is it's not a one flavor meal, y'all. Let's just take a look here at what's inside of this taco seasoning. Well, for one, it says no MSG, so it's not going to be as good as it should, but no artificial flavors in it. Let's see. What's actually in this thing? And there's a tag right over it, but I can see that it says paprika, onion. Let's see if I can peel that. Potato starch. Don't have that in the pantry, do we? Let's see. Garlic, citric acid. And that's where Raphael was talking about using lime or lemon on your fish or your shrimp right before cooking it. Oregano. You think about oregano with Italian, but y'all, Spanish dishes and Italian dishes are very similar a lot of times. And other spices, y'all, but for a couple of bucks, you can get the same seasoning that they're using in most of your local Mexican restaurants. Now, after you get that incorporated, just let it marinate on the kitchen counter. You don't need to put it back in the refrigerator. Now, one thing you're going to need is tortillas. And if you live in an area that has a large population of Hispanic folks, you're probably going to have some taquerias around there where they make their own tortillas. Where we're at here is not one of those places. And so we go to the grocery store and just buy the burrito style tortillas. Food Line, Walmart, doesn't matter. Just get the burrito size, the big size. That's what you're looking for. Real simple. We're not making tortillas here at home. I have before. But once again, I don't look like the tortilla making kind. I have made a few. They're not terrible, but sometimes it's just better to go with what's in the grocery store because they've already got it dialed in, if you know what I mean. Set those to the side. We're going to get these hot peppers and onions. We're going to throw some hot pepper in there. Get it into a cast iron pan. Get it sizzling. Straight into a smoking hot pan with these vegetables. And we're not done adding vegetables. It's not just going to be peppers and onion. Garlic. And cowboy candy jalapenos, y'all. Load them up. Hot pan. Hot pepper. Do not get rid of the bowl that you just had your onion and pepper in. And don't worry about washing it out. We're going to put these cooked peppers and onion and a little bit of tomato. We're going to throw in some grape tomato in there. I like that, a little bit of acidity. And that garlic. We're going to put it right back in this bowl and let it sit there and stay warm while we're cooking the shrimp. Hot peppers and onions. Now here's a little trick for you that I learned, guys. You are going to add your cheeses right now. And here's a cheat for you. Pick you up some of this queso from the store. It's not all that we're using, but it's some of it. Go ahead and throw it in here because we want it, and there's not much left, so we're going to use this. I can't remember what we had this on list. I think some nachos we had last. Go ahead and get this cheese in here because it needs to kind of melt a little bit. All it is, y'all, is American cheese. White American cheese, jalapenos, and some spices. All right, we're going to stretch this cheese. We're going to add some cheddar to it. As well as, and I say stretch it, y'all, we are changing the consistency and the flavor just a little bit. Some mozzarella straight on top of that. And that, just a few pinches there. And just let that melt together with that queso. It's going to make it so much easier when we go to build these quesadillas. This part's already done. The cheese is already melted. All we got to do is crisp up our little burrito wrappers, or in this case, quesadilla wrappers. All right, pan's hot again. A little bit of olive oil in with those marinated shrimp. Spread them out so they'll all cook about the same speed here. Crank up the heat just a hair. I've got it about medium-high heat, y'all. I just deglazed the pan with a little bit of muscadine wine, sweet wine. Two reasons I did that. One, it's going to help me when it comes time to clean the pan because it's deglazing it. And two, it's imparting a little bit of sweetness from that vino, that fruit of the vine that's going into these shrimp. It's just going to set this thing apart from anything you'll get in a restaurant. That's not something Raphael taught me. Maybe that's something I should have taught Raphael. Hot pan. And another hot pan. We're not done. We're going to build this quesadilla. Got our shrimp here. First thing going on to the actual quesadilla is some of our cheesy mixture there that we made earlier. Set that to the side. Now, some of these fine looking shrimp. Straight on top, some of these shrimp. It's almost made a gravy where I put that wine in here. And y'all, that is a fantastic gravy. Now this is going back on to about a medium-high heat. We're going to fold it over, crisp up this tortilla, and then we're done. All right, feast your eyes on this, y'all. You ever had a shrimp quesadilla come out to the restaurant that looks like that? Look at that gravy that we made with that muscadine wine. Deglazing the cast iron pan right at the end. But look at that gravy. All of those seasonings in there. A few extra shrimp I threw on top. Y'all, you can't get that in the restaurant. You cannot get that in the restaurant. It is not this good. Let's have a bite. This is a quesadilla that, honest to goodness, eats like a burrito. It's that full. Let's just have a taste. My goodness, some of that gravy. You cannot get that in a restaurant, y'all. You go in there and ask them for shrimp gravy on your shrimp quesadilla. They're gonna be like, "Yo no comprendo, señor," because they've never made it. This right here, y'all, it's top of the line. It is top of the line. I don't care who you are or what you say. That is top of the line. Y'all, I always wanted to have a restaurant. I always wanted to be a chef when I was growing up. Just loved cooking, y'all. Loved cooking. And I still do. And I think my friend Raphael would be impressed with what I've come up with here. Maybe I need to get up with him and give him the recipe. Guys, y'all have a good day and a great week. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high. We'll see you on the next one. Give this quesadilla a try. Make that gravy, y'all. Gravy makes everything better.